I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you the new president of OSSTF FEESO, Karen Littlewood. The Presidents Symposium is an important part of the way we build leadership in our organization, and today we welcome Karen to the virtual stage as our new president, notably only the 11th woman president in our history. For me, as a colleague of Karen's, it is exciting to see another woman at the helm of the Federation. Karen began her career as an OSSTF FEESO member in District 17 Simcoe, quickly becoming involved in the Federation and moving through a variety of leadership positions that led her to the eventual election to the provincial executive in 2017, where she served as an executive officer and then as one of our vice presidents. As our 67th president, Karen brings a drive and dedication to the greater labor movement that will continue to situate the Federation as the primary voice in education unions in this province. Her willingness to act as a mentor to others and her commitment to personal growth and the development of a stronger, more unified, and diverse OSSTF FEESO are hallmarks of her leadership style. With Karen, we also get an impassioned campaigner and labor advocate who has already made an impact as a media figure, voicing the needs of all of our members and the students we serve. Taking on a presidency in the middle of a pandemic is uncharted territory, but I am certain we are in the best of hands and that a safe return for all will be possible thanks to Karen's leadership. We will now turn to Karen's opening address.
Thank you so much, Martha. Bonjour et bienvenue au premier symposium annuel des présidences. Just a heads up that I will be speaking in French at different parts of my speech, but the translation should be automatic for you. Merci. I am a settler. Today I am streamed into your homes, schools, or work sites from Tkaronto, also known as Toronto, the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. They are the stewards of this land, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Truth and reconciliation must be a priority. We need an ongoing and deliberate commitment, and it must be intentional. Les communautés autochtones de tout le pays continuent de pleurer le meurtre de leurs enfants. Nous ne pouvons pas perdre de vue ces atrocités. Systemic discrimination and racism continue to oppress Indigenous peoples. The federal government has largely ignored the recommendations from the 1996 report of the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Peoples. Over 20 years later, the progress has been slow. Le parcours vers la vérité et la réconciliation n'est pas terminé. Thank you again, Verna, for your words of welcome. Miigwech. A warm welcome to our newest presidents who registered for our first annual Presidents Symposium. Desmond O'Connor, District 1, Professional Student Services Personnel. JP Desilets, District 1, Occasional Teachers and Teachers. Jessica Lafreniere, District 2, Early Childhood Educators. Marie Morenstrom, District 2 Teachers. Daniel Watson, District 3, PSSP. Parker Robinson, District 4, Occasional Teachers and Teachers. Joel McGrath, District 5A, Occasional Teachers. Kevin Smith, District 7, Office Professionals and Technicians. Maureen Matchett, District 8, Occasional Teachers and Teachers. Terry Corriveau, District 8, PSSP. Tyler Campbell, District 9, Education Support Staff. Michelle Teixeira, District 12, Teachers. Solange Scott, District 12, PSSP. Kristen Bennett, District 13, PSSP. Dave Warda, District 14, Teachers. Craig Horsley, District 15, Occasional Teachers and Teachers. Stephanie Barash, District 15, PSSP. Muna Kadri, District 16, Occasional Teachers and Teachers. James Cooper, District 17, Plant Services Maintenance. Kathy Dupuis, District 17, Instructors. Laurie Murray, District 17, Office and Clerical. Laura Sortorellis, District 18, Education Support Staff, Wellington Catholic District School Board. Douglas McAnally, District 19, Occasional Teachers. Ryan Harper, District 19, Teachers. Todd Elliott, District 19 PSSP. Stephen Gagne, District 20 PSSP. Deb Turner, District 21 Office Clerical and Technical. Brenda Burton, District 24 Custodial and Maintenance. Cindy Waite, District 29 PSSP. Karen Cleaver, District 35 Wilfrid Laurier University Staff Association. Wanda Gilmore, District 35 Brock University Support Staff. And Michelle Daybolt, District 35 Algoma University Support Staff. You join a group of returning presidents assembled here, and we hope that even if this event is virtual, that you will make some connections. Please reassure your members who may have attended training sessions at leadership in the past that we will continue to offer many of those same courses throughout the year, some in person and some virtual. If nothing else, the pandemic has taught us that there are many different ways to deliver training. The new President's Training yesterday laid out the role of the bargaining unit president, including understanding the perspectives on leadership in a diverse union facilitated by Pat Wright, former OSSTF FEESO Provincial Executive Officer. I hope you were all able to attend the session last night entitled Workplace Harassment Investigations. You have many responsibilities in your role as a local leader, and we felt that this was some crucial information for all of you. A variety of workshops will be offered for all of you later on today and Friday, including a President's Introduction to Alternative Dispute Resolution, Employer-Union Relationship Building, a legal update workshop discussing recent cases and emerging issues and the potential impact on members, advanced media training, as well as a workshop on running effective meetings. Experienced facilitators from within OSSTF FEESO and from outside will guide these collaborative sessions. Before I move forward, I would like to acknowledge the 2021 to 2023 Provincial Executive who are here with me today. They consist of returning Vice President Paul Kakamo, newly elected VP Martha Haradaway, Treasurer Jeff Denny's, and Executive Officers Haysam Hulays, Malini Leahy, and Colin Matthew. I would also like to thank Dave Warda, Earl Burt, and Harvey Bischoff for their service to the membership during their tenure on the Provincial Executive. It was not the typical departure for PE members, given that we were almost exclusively online on June 30th, but that should by no means diminish our appreciation of them. They will be recognized for their contributions, hopefully in person, in the near future, when it is safe to gather. Thank you also to the OSSTF FEESO provincial office staff who are here this morning. There is an amazing work center just on the other side of this wall. They're working so hard behind the scenes to make sure that things run smoothly. Planning for this event starts long before CVent ever opens and people begin to register. The decision to offer President's Training in a virtual format was not an easy one. Still, organizers decided to turn this into a positive and offer some highly specialized training that we hope will enhance your ability to meet the needs of your members and empower you to grow as a president. Merci de prendre le temps de participer à ces séances. Vous êtes les travailleuses et travailleurs de première ligne qui continuent à œuvrer sans relâche pour protéger et faire avancer les intérêts de vos unités locales, tout en soutenant et en répondant aux besoins des élèves et des familles dans le domaine de l'éducation publique. We could not do this work without your passion, expertise, knowledge, support, and resilience. Dr. Robin Hanley-Defoe will be joining us this morning as our keynote speaker. Her presentation, Wise Wellness, a radical shift in performance through sustainable self-care, is very timely. We must find ways to take care of ourselves and each other in order to meet the challenges that lie ahead. Some of you may not have ever imagined you would be a bargaining unit president, or maybe didn't picture yourselves as a leader, but you are. Leadership skills can be learned and developed and improved. We learn on our own, and we learn from others. You are bold and courageous. Throughout the pandemic, you have been part of an education team, education workers and teachers from childcare to the early years, through elementary and secondary, through to post-secondary and adult learning, each playing a vital role and contributing to the success of the education system. For many of you, you went right from picket line to lockdown in March of 2020, and since then have faced uncertainty and changes at every turn. We were confronted with fear and uncertainty both at work and in our personal lives. last-minute decisions, little time to prepare. This year probably won't be much different. We hope to help you face the challenges to come. Ontario's public education system cannot be reimagined, reframed, or rejuvenated without your support. This President's Symposium has been designed to assist you with ways to build upon your local membership participation. There are common struggles. Our work has to be intentional so that we all benefit. We learn from each other's experiences and we build on each other's strengths. Today also provides an opportunity for us to reflect on the collective work that must be done to address the systemic barriers, racist behaviors, and oppressive practices that cause harm to Black, Indigenous, and racialized members. Our transformational goals cannot be met without first acknowledging systemic racism. Acknowledgement includes providing stronger local supports and resources for Black, Indigenous, and racialized education workers and teachers. Acknowledgement includes intentionally creating opportunities to increase participation and engagement in union activities and leadership for Black, Indigenous, and racialized members. Acknowledgement includes centering the voices of those who are underrepresented. We have hired an equity, diversity, and inclusion coordinator who will work alongside the OSSTF FEESO in-house equity team to identify systemic barriers and provide strategic, evidence-based, informed direction regarding equity and inclusion within the Federation. Our in-house equity team continues to expand, including additional layers of lived experience and skill sets to this work. Our provincial office staff and provincial executive have continued to receive ongoing training to enhance their understanding of the complexities of systemic barriers and the impact that these barriers have on our members. Dismantling anti-Black racism, anti-Indigenous racism, and leading an anti-racist and anti-oppressive organization is our priority. We all have work to do in this regard. As part of the Equity Action Plan that was passed at AMPA 2021, OSSTF FEESO will be examining the rules of order that govern our annual meeting, using a multi-pronged approach, which includes a comprehensive literature review, survey, and qualitative interviews with members. On August 23rd, the survey will be issued to all delegates and alternates who have attended AMPA in the last 4 years. The survey aims to examine the experiences of AMPA delegates and alternates when navigating the rules of order and the barriers they have encountered. I encourage everyone who receives the link to complete the survey, as this data is critical to developing a meeting model that is inclusive and allows for the meaningful participation of all members. We have so much to do, and I don't take this work lightly. I am incredibly privileged to stand here as the 67th president of OSSTF FEESO to engage in this work. Like many of you, I have had an unpredictable path, and I am still on my personal journey. Teaching core French in Keswick in 1991 as a member of the Federation of Women Teachers of Ontario bears little resemblance to my job today. But the experiences along the way have enriched me and contributed to my desire to fight with all I have for publicly funded education. As I have for the past 30 years, I pledge to continue to be open-minded and show resolve and integrity and work to build connections. Collective bargaining remains at the core of our organization and must be a focus amidst all the other challenges. Some of our university bargaining units are in the midst of bargaining. Others have agreements soon to expire. The University of Ottawa was on strike for 11 days during a pandemic after 19 months of bargaining. We have looked back at the last round of school board bargaining as we face the expiration of those agreements on August 31st, 2022. Yet we still don't have ratified agreements in all of our school board sector bargaining units. 6 groups have yet to reach a deal. We have engaged in some research to help guide us as we go forward. Last spring, our policy analyst, Chris Samuel, conducted extensive interviews with members of the provincial executive, provincial office staff, local leaders, consultants, and parent group leaders to gather insights and perspectives to understand the diverse elements related to the 2019-2020 round of bargaining. The idea of transparent bargaining as a strategy came about following a meeting with the American Federation of Teachers. Transparent bargaining refers to OSSTF FEESO's decision to make public all formal bargaining proposals and the evidence justifying OSSTF FEESO's proposals. When you're being reasonable and making reasonable requests, it can be helpful to share that. Our polling results demonstrated that our strategy successfully captured the narrative and maintained broad public support, even during the rotating strikes. The preliminary findings of the research emphasize that the political context of our next round of bargaining will determine the effectiveness of our tactics, and further, the political context is likely to be very different from the last one. Should the Progressive Conservatives win another majority government, please no, they may look toward public education and OSSTF FEESO as an appealing target. In his role as policy analyst, Chris will be presenting the data this fall, and we hope to use it to guide our future actions. In our continued effort to make evidence-based decisions, the provincial executive has already committed to worksite visits for this fall. This may be a combination of virtual and in-person visits. We want to come to where members are, even if that's on a screen, to hear what they expect from us, what bargaining should look like, and how we can provide support. La meilleure façon de servir les membres est de les écouter, et nous voulons être accessibles. Il reste tellement de travail à faire avant que nous soyons prêts en vue des élections de 2022. Notre résistance à la privatisation de l'enseignement public doit être un mouvement organisé. There is still very little consultation or collaboration between education units and the government. However, we are working closely with our federation partners. While we should all be working together, we continue to face the vilification of teachers and a lack of respect for education workers. This past June 24th, we released our education platform, Strengthen Public Education, Rebuild Ontario. The document outlines our vision for publicly funded education in Ontario in a post-pandemic world. It is a document that highlights growth and renewal. The document outlines 5 interconnected pillars for the future of public education in the province: increasing student-centered supports and services, centering schools as part of our communities, addressing systemic inequities, improving learning conditions for all, and providing safe and healthy learning and working conditions. We consulted with staff, the broader membership, provincial committees and advisory work groups, and education partners. A strong publicly funded education system is an essential component of rebuilding Ontario's future. The public has to believe that as well. The ongoing strategic action plan allows 8 election organizers to be released full-time in second semester of this year. They have been working since the fall of 2020 and are already assigned to work with your districts. They will assist in getting members involved in the election. Our election work will be prominent and will require much support. Our goal is for every OSSTF FESO member to think about the issues we raise on our platform when they decide how to vote. If I've been to one of your local meetings over the last few years, you will have undoubtedly heard me call on you to do something small, something medium-sized, and something big. It sounds like such a simple request, but I believe it can have a tremendous impact. It's all relative, though. Something that's little for me might be huge for you, and that's okay. It's all about pulling people in where they are, comfortable, and then pushing them to do a little bit more, and as a result, to have a significant impact. The no cuts buttons are a good example of something little. Anyone should be able to put on a button or give it to a stranger, and those buttons were everywhere. For many people, a medium-sized action could be participating in a phone zap. For those of you unfamiliar with a zap, you get together on Zoom, discuss the action you want to take, go into breakout rooms, a script is screened, and you all start calling MPPs or trustees or whomever you'd like to influence. For the phone zap, it's medium because you had to take the step to join the meeting, and it might be a little challenging for some, but for the most part, it's not an onerous task. This year, your something big may look like helping in a campaign, or canvassing, or working a phone bank, or maybe even putting your name forward as a candidate, as some of our OSSTF FESO members or retirees have already done. We will all have to play a part, but it's easier when someone encourages you or leads the way. It's all relative. For now, the Conservatives continue to lead the polls. We know that polls aren't always reliable. To date, we have not seen the PC education platform. We will be paying close attention to the policies and directions of all of the major parties. We know all too well that the kind of government we end up with will directly impact our daily working lives. We can't control the direction of the government or the policies of a party in power, but we can do everything in our power to influence those policies. We have to use our platform as a tool to impress upon each of the political parties the objectives and pillars we want to see in their platforms if they hope to garner support from our membership. We are calling for practical, sensible commitments that will help OSSTF FEESO members do the best job we can for the students in our charge. Our immediate goal and objective must be a safe return. There are still so many questions and unknowns. The government's 26-page back-to-school plan fell short, even with the most recent additions and amendments. School boards are now scrambling to operationalize and implement the government plan and develop their own individual policies to fill in the holes. By September 7th, they need to know who in their employ is vaccinated and not. It is a mere shell of what is required to protect education workers, teachers, and students. Once again, the government has passed the buck and abdicated its responsibility. We have made it a practice to work with experts as we develop and advocate our positions. As it relates to the pandemic, we work regularly with experts such as a highly qualified epidemiologist and a ventilation expert, along with lawyers, to position us to protect members' rights and advocate for a safe workplace in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. I'm someone who tries to keep the talking points simple and clear. We have 5 basic requests: vaccination, ventilation, masks, testing, and distancing, especially when in indoor settings. Unlike the Ford government, we must continue to deal in facts and promote positions that are responsible, safe, and effective for our members and the students we serve. More broadly, we continue our ongoing work with both public relations and government relations firms to assist us in developing and promoting strong and effective messages in support of publicly funded education. Our staff continue to work tirelessly to ensure that local leaders have the supports required to work effectively. We know that these are challenging times for everyone, but rest assured, behind the scenes, we are continually taking steps to ensure we can put our best foot forward on behalf of our members. This advocacy will not stop, and with your assistance as presidents, we will continue to advance our positions. OSSTF FEESO members are the front line of publicly funded education. Our members are dedicated professionals who deserve to be treated with respect and protected in their schools and work sites. With your help next year, we will have a government that respects education and the people who make the system work. We will negotiate collective agreements that will improve and protect our working conditions, and that is also about respect. This upcoming training has been carefully designed to give you the tools you will need to serve our members through the challenges ahead. Les 2 prochains jours sont le début de votre préparation. Notre travail est infini. Il n'y a pas de ligne d'arrivée, et c'est bien ainsi. En tant qu'organisation, nous contribuons à la croissance et au redressement de la province, et nous pouvons toujours faire mieux. Que ces jours et les séances à venir vous apportent le soutien et l'orientation dont vous avez besoin pour façonner les décisions cruciales que vous prendrez en tant que dirigeant au cours de l'année à venir. Be well.
Karen, thank you very much for those inspired and passionate words. You have not only reminded us of the powerful unity we have in OSSTF FEESO, but more importantly, how it is manifested in the work of all of our local leaders. You have once again demonstrated how important the labor movement is to protecting and enhancing publicly funded education in this province, and you have shown us how together we will face these challenges ahead as we fight for the tenets of quality, publicly funded education for all Ontarians. We are truly grateful for your strong leadership.